regular show. Today we're doing a Mario Party island hopping adventure tour, whatever the hell it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Sean, go.
Lots of islands in this game. So this was an interesting... Let's just go at it from the beginning. You load up the game. You got the single-player option and then the multiplayer option. Single-player was like, well, we're going to review it. We're going to do multiplayer. That's what Mario Party's for. It's funny because the subtext for multiplayer says, start a download party with your friends. So it already implies that you're going to be playing with a lot of people that probably don't have the game. It's kind of weird, but I'm glad they do that because what you do is you open up the room and then you get all your people in there, and it actually just does one big loading, and then once you're done with that, you guys just play the game. So in terms of that, they did a really good job setting that up. But anyway, there's like 6 different game modes, with 6 different...
Maybe 7,
possibly. 7
possibly.
different maps.
They talk about the maps.
Maps, yeah.
Right, because the maps kind of represent different modes. See, the interesting thing is this Mario Party did away with the stars and the coins.
Which was, I feel like, in my opinion, it was a really good move because it's kind of the same dribble over and over again.
Right. And they're trying to change it up because Mario Party is one of those really well-known series for being super just the same old shit repeated over.
It's like Monopoly with Mario. It's not
Yeah.
Fortune Street.
Well, that would be more Fortune Street. This is more like... I don't know, like in terms of changing it up, I guess it's nice. I haven't played a Mario Party game since like Mario Party 3 because I hate the series so bad.
Can't blame you.
And
I haven't either since that third.
Yeah, and I thought it was neat. I thought having all the different maps be different rule sets. There's one that's kind of similar to the Wii Party U road thing where you play mini game.
Copy, yeah.
Yeah, you play mini game, and depending on your placement in the mini game, you get more dice to roll, and then it's whoever gets to the end first wins. There's a thing with cards where you have to you have a hand of cards, and they allow you to move a certain amount of spaces, so there's no real dice rolling involved. There's
not a lot of randomness.
There's one where it's the first person to get to the end loses.
That was the Bowser.
Yeah,
that mode.
So there were a couple of interesting modes. I think it would have been nice to put in a conventional Mario Party map.
Just for old time's sake.
Yeah, I think that would have been nice to put in.
Wasn't necessary, but it would have been nice.
It would have been nice to have.
I just we hate this game, blah, 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 and then all of a sudden we're like, it would have been nice to have some old Mario Party.
I assume as a person who hates the series, I'm not the...
Yeah, by no means...
I'm not the target audience for this game.
By no means do we feel like the game is... I suppose the game's not really bad, it's just not for us.
I don't know if I would say it's not bad.
No.
Me personally, this one, to me, despite being changed up, this one feels particularly dull.
Yeah.
This feels like a very dull entry.
Which is bad for a party game?
Yes.
Yeah. It's just very...
Dull party.
Oh, yeah.
Dull Mario Party.
It's very kind of by the numbers. There's not a ton of great standouts in terms of the mini games. The boards aren't super well designed. They don't look nice. It's just kind of it's here.
They're very small.
They are very
small
short.
concept.
Yeah. A small concept as well. Yeah, definitely.
I'm not gonna fault this Mario Party. I only played two maps or so, but
I think you're 2 or 3. Yeah.
2 or 3. But what I liked about it, I mean, what I saw I did like in terms of changes and stuff. I felt it was I guess a nice breath of stale air to the Mario Party franchising.
That's a
breath of stale air.
Surprisingly decent way to put it.
That's true.
It makes some weird amount of sense.
That actually, the more you think about it, if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. That actually is, because it's still stale. But it's
very stale.
It's a little bit of refreshing.
It's sort of a new coat of paint on a 10-year-old turd.
On an old Deuce Coupe car.
I don't know. Yeah,
the Deuce Coupe.
But in some ways, despite there being changes, to me it feels even more dull than a Mario Party usually does, or at least the ones I played.
I mean, they're super short, so I guess that sort of works with the whole premise, though, because if you just enter into a random room, and I guess Nintendo has this premise on its mind that it likes to think that they're a medium for you to make friends with strangers or something, so if you're just randomly in a room with people who have DSs, you can just play Mario Party.
That does bring up a good point in terms of this felt like a Wii U game. It felt like it would have been better.
I don't know. See, the problem with it is that there's not a ton of inventiveness to the game. I feel like, and this is the way I feel about Mario Kart, to a degree, and I'm sure we'll talk about Mario Kart eventually at some point.
The next one comes out on the Wii U.
Well, yeah,
whatever.
when we
Actually,
talk about
it comes
that.
out next year anyway. So.
Yeah, well, if we're still doing this at that point, yeah, I'm sure we'll get around to talking about Mario Kart, but there's no zaniness to it. There's no inventiveness to it. There might have been at the beginning of the series 10 years ago, maybe, I don't know. But there just doesn't seem to be a lot of heart put into it. It's just sort of, here's a map and it's like a castle with some grass or something, walk around, maybe do some mini games. Here's a mini game where you have to shoot a thing by pressing a button, or there's no like weird concepts or weird maps, or there's just no charm to any of it.
From my understanding from the maps that we played, there was no 1 versus 3, there was no 2
It's
on
all
2.
free-for-all stuff now.
I actually enjoyed that. That might come into some opposition, but I enjoyed just the free-for-all stuff.
I mean, I like the 1 versus 3 and the 2 versus 2. At least it shakes things up, I guess, a little bit. But I suppose the reason to jump back on this topic, why the maps are so short, is probably because this is a mobile game, so they have the ideology that you're running on a battery. So you can't have like a 2-hour freaking Mario Party game because your DS will die halfway through.
Yeah.
And if you're not already at each other's throats, you will be at the end of that trying to figure out who won.
Well, it would be nice. It would be nice to put a longer version in.
It would
True,
be if you could.
There are times when you're going to be at a house with your
Right,
friends.
because I don't think anybody's going to be like out and about, like, let's play some Mario Party. I mean, the game's still going to take like 20 minutes to play.
On a train, in a car,
Right.
you're riding a bike.
Right, we're
more.
waiting to go to, visit the dentist's office. Let's play a quick
Mario-
game of Mario Party.
Party.
Like, no one's going to do that.
Yeah.
Well, we're all hungry. Where do we want to go eat? Let's play a quick game
because
of Mario
this is my
Party.
problem, is that there are 7 maps.
Right.
6 or 7, I don't remember, and I don't really care. 6 or 7 maps. One of those maps is like more of a conventional Mario Party map.
As close as it can be.
As close as it can be, despite not really being conventional. The second one's just a inverse version of the first one. And then there's a third one that is basically the same as the first one, but instead of rolling dice, you use cards in your hand.
And then
the rest of them are all neat, and I won't go into painstaking detail explaining all the rules of these.
Yeah.
You're gonna play each of the other ones maybe once,
Right.
and then go okay, and maybe you'll play the one with the cards. I don't know. Maybe you'll play the inverse one. But at the end of the day, if you want a conventional Mario experience, you're going to have one map to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. So to me, this is a game that, I mean, if I said I had no fun playing this game, I'd be lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
as a
it's
group,
just-
we had a good amount of fun actually.
Yeah.
It was a decent amount of fun. However,
This is a one-off for me.
I
to be
feel like
honest.
we're done with it though.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I have
I
no-
never played it until yesterday. We played it for maybe a
We
3 or
played
4 hour period.
all 7 maps in about 5 hours.
Roughly.
Now it's not your standard Mario game time.
Yeah.
Right, and I wouldn't willingly play it again.
Nah, willingly.
No, well, I wouldn't go, let's play Mario. I would never say that.
Okay, but that makes it sound like if you were chained up and they were doing some
I mean, I'd
Chinese
rather-
water torture, like play a Mario game.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather play Mario Party than get waterboarded. I guess. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's physical torture. I'm saying if I was just sitting around, and we're sitting around, and I would never go, yeah, we should play a 3DS Mario Party. I'm never going to say that.
I
It's,
think that's
like-
the first good joke we've had on here.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to...
Because
I think it's not pig shit, but is it worth $40? I wouldn't say so.
no, definitely not.
No,
just running
I was the one that bought it.
whole thing of play the Mario Party.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna,
Yeah.
it's
Here's-
whatever.
Yeah.
Like, the other thing is, like, there's only one minigame I found to be actually kind of interesting. It was just this one. I won't detail it, but only one out of the 40 we played I felt was actually,
How many-
wow, this was fresh. This is a new
How
experience.
many games do you think there are in that?
80. I'm pretty sure it's 80. They officially said 80.
The only game
80 new ones.
the only game I really liked was the Mike game where you had to imitate the characters.
I Cthulhu brained my way through it.
Yeah, through the
just-
telephone.
Just because it's so stupid, I believe we were supposed to imitate Waluigi,
Yes.
And I came in second place for going, and then we were supposed to imitate Boo on the second time.
And I was on the phone with Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis started just
gibberish.
Just started talking
through the telephone. I've held the phone up to the mic.
And he won. So it's kind of fun to see who can win by just saying, like, trying to not imitate the character.
Right.
Because it doesn't seem to really matter.
No. It just highlights how ineffective that is. The gyroscopes were awful. Those were awful.
Some of the games were fun just because they're so awful. I think, because that's what I felt like. I found the game, when I found the game the most fun was when we were all kind of laughing about how bad it was.
Yeah.
True.
Like, it was unintentional.
Same thing with Wii Party U.
Yeah, that's true.
These are terrible minigames.
Right.
Ha, 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 ha.
Like, I don't know. To me, it's just not a good game. If you're really desperate for some Mario Party, I don't know if anyone is, but
I feel like it's just missing its audience. It's confusing its audience. Why is it on the portable when they're like 20-minute games, and then it's doing different control things that don't really work?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'd say give this one a miss. If I had to recommend the game, I'd say give it a miss.
Yeah.
If you had to recommend it, you'd give it a miss.
Give it a miss.
I would say,
no.
I would say, yeah.
Say no Mario Party.
If you just love Mario Party, if you're some kind of person, I don't know who you are or what you're like, but if you just love Mario Party, I don't know why you're even watching this, because you probably purchased it already.
That's the only person I would say.
If you're thinking about purchasing, I would say just don't bother. It's just not. I wouldn't say it's worth it.
Just wait to find somebody that did.
Yeah, because he's down to play anyways and see. So
poor bastard.
No, I was going to buy it anyway. But anyway. So.
Reggilar Show. Thanks for joining us.
Shooting the breeze.